What's up, everybody? Happy Monday to everyone. I hope you guys had a great weekend. For those who believe in resting on weekends, I hope you got to rest. For those like me who are penniless, I hope you guys enjoyed working over the weekend. But even besides working, for some of your friends, of course, that have 9 to 5s and that rest, I hope you made some time to spend time with them. Yesterday was Father's Day. And if you look, I don't know if you can see, I was playing with my son over the weekend. Unyanga, Scoop. Little bastard fucking scratched me here while I was busy making him do somersaults. Unyanga is 1 year, 6 months, I believe. The roughest child I've had. He's so much fun. He's got so much energy. He's a little monster. Very cute monster. So I was very happy to spend time with him over the weekend. I also got a chance to call my Chinese babies. I've got 2 children that are currently based in China, so I had a really great video chat with them. And we have to start planning for their return because obviously they have a different academic calendar which starts in July, August. And in South Africa, obviously our school calendar starts in January, February. So I want to make sure that they are aligned when they come back here with whatever school that they're going to be joining. So we need to start planning for that as well. On top of that, one of the conversations I had with them was the idea that we need to try and speak to each other every single day, because I currently speak to them once or twice a week. I think that's too little. Of course, they don't live with me because they're in China, but I need to try and parent as much as I can for them, to them, while they're away. Also got a chance yesterday to call the Durbanites, my 2 children that are based in Durban, Ushaga and Nkanyezi. Kalchi is Nkanyezi's other name. So I had a chance to chat with them. They were telling me about their weekend and how much fun they had. Ushaga was trying to feed me chips through the camera lens, which was pretty cool. And Ushaga is hopefully going to grade 1 in 2 years' time. So the discussions with him and with me and his mom and his aunt and his grandmother that they live with there is that we need to try working on his development, and his sister, of course, who's 2 years old, over the next 6 months, over the next year, so that by the time he has to get to grade 1, the boy is awesome, as any child of mine should be. Reading, writing, be able to articulate himself, be able to socialize with other kids, etc., etc., etc. So that's very cool and exciting for me. I tried to call my son in Newcastle, Uzulu, twice yesterday. Unfortunately, the mom didn't pick up the phone. She actually declined the calls, but we pray and we hope that time will change and things will happen. The boy is 9 now, and I'm hoping within the next few years he can get a voice and me and him can connect more. One of the people that is in my WhatsApp group, I have a WhatsApp group with over 150 members paying 100 Rand each per month. One of the guys, Deo Khutso, sent me 4 pages of Will Smith's book, which I haven't had a chance to read. And in that book, he was speaking about being a father and how for him, he was striving for a perfect life. And in wanting a perfect life, part of it meant living with his children and being present. And he fought a lot with his ex-wife, Cherie, about his firstborn son, Trey, and how he wanted to parent his son differently. Things like his mom wanted Trey to have a routine sleep time. Will Smith doesn't believe in a routine sleep time, just like myself. He believes children must sleep when they're tired. And through doing that and sleeping late, kids will realize the importance of sleeping early on their own. The mom being against video games and Will Smith being like, but what if this is going to be the next genius that invents a video game like a PlayStation? Why keep them from that? And other such things, So it was interesting reading that. And Khuto sent me this because he felt there were so many similarities in how I speak about parenting and especially being a father. The idea that the best thing you can do for your child is be present so that your child can learn from you and you can teach your child to hunt and become a warrior. Will Smith says boys need to be trained to be men by their fathers, which I 100% agree with. Again, Will Smith differs with Cherie, or differed back then with Cherie, in that Cherie wanted Trey to get good school grades, and Will Smith's whole thing was he wanted Trey to just be a critical thinker, someone who can solve problems. And Elon Musk and his 5 boys at the time, the reason he created his own school, Ad Astra, and homeschooled his kids was because he wasn't happy with conventional schooling. And he wanted his kids to be critical thinkers who can solve problems fundamentally. On the contrast, Will Smith got to raise Jaden and Willow, the two kids he had with Jada Pinkett. He got to homeschool them because Jaden at some point complained that he just didn't want to go to school anymore and he wanted to learn from home, which was pretty awesome because they've managed to upskill their kids. Their kids are singers, they're actors, etc., etc. So I think that's very beautiful. But he says he struggled a lot later on when he turned 13, because that's what his father, Will Smith's father, they called him Daddy-O, advised him, don't fight with your child's mother, you'll lose. Women have this monopoly over children, which is something that we need to dismantle in the modern world. But he said you'll lose. When the boy turns 13, he'll ask to come to you. And true to speak, a couple of weeks after Trey turned 13, he asked to go and live with his dad, Will Smith. So I guess I have to hope that uZulu will be strong enough, will have the voice, the energy and the platform and the access to be able to speak to his mom and say, I want more access to my father. I want to speak to my father. I've heard people tell me that he's made videos about me online. He's made posts about me. And he wants to have a chance to parent me as well. So I guess this is my promotion to go and read Will Smith's book. I haven't read it, but I read those 4 pages and I thought they were absolutely sensational. Father's Day came and went yesterday. I'm not a fan of Father's Day. I need you guys to know. As I've gotten older, the influence of alpha males, no, I guess Joe Rogan is an alpha male, I'd like to think. A guy who is not an alpha male, and a lot of people make this mistake, I've made it as well, Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is not an alpha male. He's probably like a beta male. What Jordan Peterson is really good at as a professor, as an educator, is the ability to articulate how alpha men think and how they should move. And he's helped a lot of us move from being feminized boys to becoming men, an alpha male as far as possible. Through some of his teachings, obviously listen to guys like Joe Rogan, Joko Willink, David Goggins, if you guys know fucking David Goggins, monster, and other men out there. I guess the passing of Kevin Samuels as well. Just this fight against the feminization of men, because men are being feminized by the system so that men are agreeable, just like women, so that men are easier to rule by the powerful elite. So they need to feminize you, because an alpha male, a dominant male, doesn't like being told what to do, struggles with a 9-to-5, doesn't do well with bosses. He wants to be his own boss and be the master of his own kingdom, which is a shout out to Guy Ritchie, a filmmaker from the UK, who speaks about every man must be the master of his own kingdom, and you must own whatever it is you do. You can be in a job, you can have like a small little flat, but you must be the king there. You must be the master, you must own it. So I'm not a fan of Father's Day because it's largely driven for capitalistic ends and endeavors. Father's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, New Year, all of these are gimmicks to make sure that shops make as much money as possible. The posters and all the ads start like months before. Spoil your dad. What would your dad like? And obviously over the years, it's become a fat joke that fathers normally get socks or mugs or gowns or other useless shit that men don't really need for Father's Day. And that a lot of fathers get taken out for breakfast and lunch. And yet their own money is used to spoil dad, And then you hear the ads with the subliminal messaging, Happy Father's Day to all the real men who have become You never hear that fucking bullshit when Mother's Day is coming. To all the real mothers out there, to all the real women, to all the women who are hands-on parents, to all the women who haven't left their kids with the grandparents. Shout out. No one fucking says that. Soon as a woman's given birth, she's given like full-on kudos and rights to be a mother, and she's celebrated no matter what. Single mom, a mom who's left the kids with the grandparents, people are like, oh, shame, she's probably struggling. We understand, women are under pressure. No one gives a fuck about men. No one gives a flying fuck about men, and men have had to fight back in various ways. Sadly, they fight a lot of women, and it's not the women. It's some of the men at the top who have created these systems where genders fight. Because when genders are fighting, just as when races are fighting, the people at the top get to win. Because you guys, it's divide and conquer. You guys are at each other's throats. Meanwhile, the elite at the top are winning. So that's pretty sad for me. Capitalism is one of the reasons I don't celebrate Father's Day. Number two, I think for what's called real men conventionally, swallowing the blue pill, no, the red pill, sorry, the Matrix reference to the red pill, which is seeing the real world, and not the blue pill, which is like going back to the illusions of everything will be okay, Santa's coming, Jesus is coming back. The red pill is saying, nah, I want the fucking real shit. I want to know that I'm not going to make it. I want to know that I'm going to be struggling. I want to know that politicians don't have my back, that there's no such thing as religion. I want the real world, as Morpheus puts it. This is it, to Neo. And from there, you can now maneuver and find ways to win. So I believe in some of the red pill stuff, and I don't think men are meant to be celebrated for being men in particular. I think men and fathers need to understand that our role in society is to be the dogs and the donkeys of the family. The dog is the first protector in the household. So when you're coming into the gate, the dog is there to bark. The dog is there to bite you. If someone knocks at the door at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's the man that must wake up and go check at the door who's there. He must go there with his nopkiri, with his shambok, his whip. He must go there with his gun to protect the family. The man must be the dog of the family and must be the first and last line of defense for the family. On top of that, the man must be the donkey. That means the man must do all the hard work. Donkeys carry heavy loads. When we speak about a man being a provider, we're speaking about being the donkey. That means if a car tire needs to be changed, you must do that. If there's heavy loads that need to be lifted, you must do that. If someone needs to climb onto the roof, you must do that. The plumbing, the electrical work, you must do that. Unfortunately, we've been miseducated, and a lot of men don't have these skills, sadly. And we need to find ways to reignite and re-educate men to be able to be the first plumber, the first electrician, the first security guard, the first police officer in the household, and not constantly outsource those duties to other men out there for money. Where they're a woman now, if your woman is in trouble, she doesn't call you. She calls a plumber, an electrician, a security guard, a cop, a pastor, a politician, purely because you are no longer a man that can be the donkey and the dog of the family. And for that, men mustn't be celebrated, Men can give themselves a pat on the back, I've done well. And how you pat yourself on the back is knowing that your family is secure, knowing that your family is eating, knowing that your house is in order, knowing that your kids are safe and are being educated to becoming strong as well, and knowing that you dominate in the household. You get to make the major decisions in the household, where we live, where we're going. The woman, of course, as powerful and as strong as she is the nurturer of the family, and she makes sure that the family is taken care of and the house is warm and everyone has obviously taken the food that you've brought. She's cooked it, it's healthy. She advises you. She's your primary advisor when you're lost. When you're fucking shit up, she must tell you, and wherever you fall short as a man, she must obviously raise her hand and lead the family as well. And you must empower her as an alpha male so that she can be an alpha in the work that she does as well. So for me, Father's Day, I don't like it. You find fucking weak men waiting for mugs and cards and celebrating and enjoying getting flowers. Again, that's part of the agenda of the feminization and the weakening of men. And those of us men who are trash, who are fucking izinja, will get to dominate you. Because a more masculine society like a Russia, like white Afrikaners in this country, will always dominate a feminized society, a feminine society. The masculine energies, a Russia, when they come at you, and you've got fucking weak men who don't eat meat, who aren't lifting weights, who don't have deep voices, for example, who don't have facial hairs, and who aren't willing to have a healthy appetite for violence to protect their families, they'll always get dominated. You can be the master buck. I'm fucking King Kudu here in this bitch. But as soon as the fucking lion comes through, you become a bitch, nigger. When the lion comes through and he's willing to fucking tear you apart, and you're not willing to fucking stab him with your horns or kick him like a buffalo, you're going to suffer and your family will be weak. So it's very important that men become more masculine. It's very important that in this dangerous world, some of our daughters are taught how to carry guns, how to shoot guns, how to fight back and defend themselves so that they can be alphas as well. And you can build an alpha family that dominates wherever you are. So yeah, man, I hope you guys had a great Father's Day. I always celebrate good men. I always celebrate men who are trying. You may not be a good man, but every single day you're trying to be better. Not better in the sense of television says you must. Fuck television. That's part of the conditioning. But a better man in the sense that I want to learn how to grow my own food. I want to learn to get superior weapons. I want to be present and give my kids hard skills. Your kids must be able to articulate themselves and speak well. Your kids must be able to make decisions and solve problems. Your kids must be able to lead in whichever space that they're in. They must be able to play sports. They must be able to fight. They must be able to even challenge you as the father, challenge the mom and say, I don't think this is the best way to go about these things. And your kids must also learn some of the things that will help them win in this world. So shout out to those men. Money is very important in the current world, but you do not need money to raise a child. You need to be present. You need to teach your child how to grow their own food, how to build their own house. Doesn't matter if it's a shack or a rondavel made of mud and cow dung. Your children need to learn how to make sure that they're warm and make their own clothing, whether it's through sheep's wool or goat skin or whatever the case may be. We just need to be present, and mothers out there in particular need to allow men to parent, and not only allow men to access their kids and parent, but give men a full right and access to father and parent the way they want. Don't come and tell me how to be a dad because I don't tell you how to be a mom. So when you come and tell me, no, you're too rough on the kids, no, that's you. That's why you're there, because you're the mom. You're the soft element. You're the feminine element, and the kids will always know, at least we can go to mom for the nurturing, for the feminine aspect, but we need dad to be masculine. What's happening with women today is women are trying to make sure that men become another mom. So now a child has got two mothers, one with a vagina and one with a penis. That's fucking bullshit. Kids need a masculine energy, and sadly, if they don't get it in the household, because mom is feminine and dad is feminine, they're gonna go and find it in the streets. Whether it's through listening to aggressive, toxic hip-hop, or they go and they join gangs, or they go and they play rugby where there's alpha males that are coaches and that they play with, or they come and find people like myself on social media, who are going to tell them the real shit that they need to fucking hear, because their own fathers, their own uncles, their own brothers are all feminized and weak and are not telling them the real things that they need to survive so they can step up and be strong. So, just be careful. Stop telling men how to parent. We are capable enough. We can make our own mistakes. You're going to make mistakes as a mom. Let me make mistakes as a dad, and let me find my way and earn my badges. Love you guys very much, and we need to do more of this. I love parenting as a discipline, as an art, as a science. I've got a book called Parenting with Penwell. It's called Hey Man, Fuck These Kids. If you want a copy, of course, you can buy it from me. You can drop me an email. My details are available. And I think at least once a month, I need to have these, whether it's online, whether it's physical, I need to have these sessions where I'm speaking to parents, training and coaching parents on how to parent better so that our kids are not depressed, our kids are not committing suicide, our kids are thriving at school, our kids are thriving on the sports field, our kids are learning how to make money, become independent, and become value adders in the family. Pen you well, the black pen. Have a great and inspired week. Remember to work really, really hard. Remember to work really, really hard. Fall in love with hard work. Fall in love with the process. Life is about meaningful struggle, not soft life. Life is about meaningful struggle and enjoying the small and major victories in your life. Love you guys. Cheers.